The Minnesota Twins are on the air.
September 16th, 1996. Molitor for 3,000. St. Paul native Paul Molitor finished his 1995 season with 2,789 total hits over his 18-year career, playing with both the Brewers and the Blue Jays. Molitor had been a 7-time All-Star with 3 Silver Slugger awards and the 93 World Series MVP award for the Toronto Blue Jays World Series victory. He entered the offseason as a free agent and contemplating retirement. That wasn't until he got the call from Twins skipper TK, Tom Kelly.
You know, I kind of thought I had lost my opportunity to ever play for the Twins. Naturally, being from St. Paul, it was something that crossed my mind through the many years I had the opportunity to play. And sure enough, it came later on, obviously, but I remember getting a call from Tom Kelly, and we got together, and he really talked up how the club had finished at the end of 95. He thought they were in a position to put together potentially another championship run in 96. And I really had to pinch myself because after playing for 18 years, I was going to have a chance to finally come home and represent the Minnesota Twins.
And Molitor did just that. At age 39, Molitor put together one of the best seasons of his career, leading the league in hits, batting .341, over 161 games played. Molitor came into the year needing 211 hits to reach the 3,000 milestone mark. He had reached 200 hits on September 6th, with 8 games left on a homestand at the Metrodome.
Well, when it became somewhat feasible that I might get there in the 96 season, I was really hoping to have a chance to do it in the Twins faithful in the Metrodome. And I remember we went in to a series at the Metrodome, and my young daughter at the time told me that if I got average 2 hits a game over the next 6 games or whatever it was, that I would do it. And sure enough, the last game in the Metrodome, I was 2 hits short, and I ended up going 0 for 3 and had to take it down to Kansas City. So, hey, I was just glad to get there. I would have loved to have done it at home. But you don't turn down those milestones whenever they come along.
Molitor concluded the homestand with 2,998 hits as the Twins and fanfare headed down I-35 to Kansas City, where Twins broadcaster John Gordo Gordon began the broadcast by teasing which notable dignitaries were in the crowd.
Well, the Royals have just now taken the field, and Jose Rosado about to take his warm-up tosses to catcher Mike Sweeney. And here's tonight's Dairy Queen Twins fact. Tonight, Paul Molitor has 2 former players who are here at the game rooting for him, and they have reached that milestone of 3,000 hits. We'll talk more about that later during tonight's game broadcast.
Molitor wasted little time collecting hit number 2,999 as Twins broadcaster Herb Carneal calls his first at-bat of the night.
Rosado has fanned the first 2 batters, and here comes Paul Molitor, 2,998 hits. The crowd, and it is not a big crowd, but they're giving Molly a standing ovation. Of course, they did that every time he came up yesterday at the Metrodome. When he went 0 for 3, hit 5 pitches first time up and then grounded it short his other 3 times up. 2 gone and nobody on here in the top of the first inning as the left-hander Rosado delivers. And a fastball strike on the outside corner. Mike Sweeney doing the catching for the Royals. Keith Lockhart at third. David Howard at short. Jose Offerman at second. Craig Paquette at first. Chris Steins, Rod Myers, John Nunley in the outfield. Scotty Olger coaching at third. Ron Gardenhire at first. And Rosado swings into his windup and delivers. Here's a fastball. Line to right, a base hit. Number 2,999 for Paul Molitor. A solid line drive hit to right. Well, there you have it. No doubt about that being a base hit. A fastball on the outside part of the plate. Molly went with it and lined it into right field.
Molitor came to the plate again in the third as the fans and the broadcasters began to hang on every pitch.
Well, a lot of anticipation here. Molitor striding toward the home plate area, and the crowd standing once again. Paul's wife, Linda, has arrived. I don't know if she was here or not for the first at bat for Paul when he had his base hit in the first inning, but I notice now where she's sitting down in the club box seats next to the Twins dugout. Rick Orndorff, the Twins photographer, also there. He's been dispatched from the Twin Cities to see if Molitor can get hit number 3,000. Here we go, Herb. Let's see what happens here.
All right, Molly lined a solid single to right his first time up. Off an outside fastball on a one-strike pitch. He is now hitting .343. And Rosado's first pitch to him is low, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. Molitor third in the batting race in the American League. He's right now 1 point behind Frank Thomas, the second man of the race behind Rodriguez. And there's a line foul off to the right. Out of play, and it's 1-1. Molitor, if he could get hot, still an outside chance to win the batting title, although Rodriguez is hitting .367. And the pitch. Fastball inside. 2-1.
So far, nothing but fastballs. He hasn't given him a breaking pitches yet, and either at bat.
And the 2-1 delivery. Another fastball and hit high to right center field. Nunnally, the right fielder, under this one. And he's got it. One away. Molitor flies to right on his second at bat, so he's still at 2,999. It'll bring up Cordova, who singled through the hole to the left in the first inning to drive in a run. Well, Jose Rosado was quoted as saying that he was just going to throw Molitor his best stuff. He did not want to walk him. He was just going to try to throw him his best stuff, and he says if he can hit it, I'll tip my cap to him. Here's a high fastball to Cordova, ball one. So Molitor 1 for 2. He is now 25 points behind Alex Rodriguez for the major league lead in batting, and Cordova's going back to the third base dugout for something.
You know, Herb, we've had a chance to talk to a lot of people, including Terry Crowley and Tom Kelly, and even Paul Molitor himself. There really is no way to pitch Molitor. I mean, he's such a good hitter. Pitchers probably more than not have tried to come inside to him, pitch him inside, and have had some success in that way. But his bat speed's still very good. He gets the bat head out and goes with the pitch very well. I just don't know if there's a way to try to get him out. I asked Bob Boone before the game. He says, we'll go by the scouting report, but there's no real way to pitch him.
Here's a strike, 1-1. I remember when Molly was playing at the University of Minnesota, we had Jerry Zimmerman as the catcher. They went over to see the Gophers one time, and I said, you see any good prospects? He said, well, that Molitor, he's really got a quick bat.
Yeah, he still has it, too.
Swing and a miss. Now, I thought Jimmy Gantner, his former teammate at Milwaukee, made a very good point, because Molitor has always had that short stroke. Mm-hmm. And unlike some of the power hitters who have longer and a little slower swings, he hasn't had to adjust very much over the years. The swing has just been about the same.
Yeah, he did mention before the game tonight, he said, I felt like I've probably broken more bats this year than I've ever broken in my career. That's because pitchers are trying to pitch me inside, so.
There's a swing and a miss by Cordova and a high outside fastball. Yeah, he pretty much got jammed every time yesterday by Torres on that hard fastball that runs in on right-handers. You swing and you hit it down near the hands and it doesn't feel good, and as you mentioned, quite a number of times you end up with a broken bat.
But in his third at-bat, Molitor made history.
Molitor waiting to hit next. Boy, what's he thinking about in that on-deck circle right now as he watches Jose Rosado pitch to Rich Becker here in the top half of the fifth inning. And the delivery is down low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean Harlan, the media relations director for the Twins, he brought by a packet that's just full of Paul Molitor's statistics on his career and all of his hits. even has a breakdown of every pitcher that Molitor has gotten a hit off of. Swing and a miss by Becker, and 2 strikes to count. Interestingly, John Williams, who hosts the John Williams Show on our flagship WCCO, tomorrow morning starting at 6:30, he's going to do a declaration of Molitor's base hits off the pitchers, starting reading the hits at the Metrodome with help from many people. Outside a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. John kind of struck the idea on his show today, and one of Paul's sisters called and recommended some of the people that should come over to help read the names. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Becker is out, and here we go, folks. Molitor stepping up for hit number 3,000, his second try. He singled in the first inning. He was out on a fly ball in the third inning. And Molitor, very calmly, mentioning something to catcher Mike Sweeney as he steps in there. Molitor has been looking for a good pitch on the first pitch from Rosado. Both times when Molitor batted, well, the first time he saw a strike, the second time he saw a ball. But you can be sure that Molitor is really looking for a pitch to jump on here to get that 3,000th hit. And here's the pitch. Line drive, foul to the right and out of play, strike 1. Never before here at Kauffman Stadium or in Kansas City has a player gotten his 3,000th hit. George Brett of the Kansas City Royals, who has 3,000 hits, got his in California. 1 strike to count. Rosado winds, kicks and fires, and Molitor swings, and it's a fly ball to right center field. Chased by the right fielder and the center fielder, and it falls in. Molitor for 2, Molitor for 3, and it could be history making. It is. Paul Molitor is the first player in the history of baseball to get a triple on his 3,000th hit. And the dugout clears, and Paul Molitor is being congratulated by his teammates. What an honor for Paul Molitor. Here comes the bullpen. And Paul Molitor is the first player of the 21 in the history of the game to get a 3-base hit for his 3,000th hit. How about that for Paul Molitor? Wow, what a thrill.
Well, I tell you, it looked like Myers was going to catch that ball for a moment. He gave it a good try, was running hard. The ball carried just out of his reach, landed out in deep right center field. And Paul Molitor, actually, he's now tied with Roberto Clemente for 20th place with 3,000 hits. And he has a chance to pass a couple more great hitters who collected 3,000 or more hits. His next target will be Al Kaline, who had 3,007. Paul Molitor waving to the crowd. They've really been very excited about him here at Kansas City, as much as they were at home. It's not a tremendously big crowd here, but very enthusiastic. And I'm sure John and fans, a lot of the people have seen what they came to see. Paul Molitor entering the record books with his 3,000th career hit. And as I believe you mentioned, a triple.
Yep.
A very unusual thing. It's never happened on a 3,000 hit.
Never before. That's history making. I mean, actual history making here at Kauffman Stadium. 5 players have had doubles of the 21. Honus Wagner, Eddie Collins, Stan Musial, Roberto Clemente, and Al Kaline. But no player has ever had a triple or a home run. And in all honesty, Herb, the ball probably should have been caught in right center field. That was a very catchable ball for either the right fielder, John Nunnally, or the center fielder, Rod Myers. But they got kind of mixed up.
Yeah, they did. They did. There was some kind of lack of communication or whatever out there. But as I said earlier, it looked like Rod Myers was going to catch the ball. Then the right fielder was coming over to try to help out John Nunnally. And apparently Myers saw him coming and took his eye off the ball. And then they tried to catch up with it again and didn't quite make it. And boy, I'm sure that Paul Molitor's breathing a sigh of relief. Looked like he got a pitch up around the shoulders that time. Hit it very deep to right center field.
Yeah, it was a ball that it looked like it was going to be caught. I'm watching the replay right now to see if Myers got his glove on the ball, but he did not. And when Paul got to third base and the bench, the dugout cleared, the bullpen cleared, all the players coming up to congratulate Paul, Tom Kelly came out for a special word with Paul Molitor. And Molitor now acknowledging pitcher, Jose Rosado. Rosado was pointing to Paul. Paul is now acknowledging the Kansas City dugout as they appreciate the feat here tonight by Paul Molitor. And then Paul very calmly, almost nonchalantly, blew a kiss to his wife, Linda, who's sitting in the club box next to the Twins dugout. Kind of a neat thing by Paul Molitor. And also, Paul's daughter is there, and many members of Paul's family, sisters, brothers, they're all in attendance here tonight, and what a thrill. I would imagine when Paul comes back to the dugout after the inning is over, and we're going to get back to the game now after the special video presentation on the board here, Paul will have an opportunity to go over to see his wife, Linda, and to be with her. Here's a foul by Cordova and a strike one count.
Just one other note that Paul Molitor gets his 3,000th hit on the same date that Dave Winfield got his 3,000th hit for the Twins at the Metrodome just 3 years ago. Two of the guys from St. Paul on the same date getting their 3,000th career hit.
16,843 fans at Kauffman Stadium made sure Molitor heard their adoration, and those two notable dignitaries that Gordo teased earlier in the broadcast, Hall of Famers Robin Yount and George Brett.
Well, it meant a lot. You know, Robin, I was his teammate when he got his 3,000th hit in Milwaukee, and I think it was in '92. And then, you know, for him to come up to Minnesota, he watched that entire homestand before we hit the road for Kansas City. And George, being someone who lives in Kansas City full time, and him and Robin have been good friends since their days in California growing up. So I was able to share that with them after the game, and we went out and had a little celebratory toast after the ball game with some of my teammates, and it was really nice to have a couple of fellow Hall of Famers share that night.
Pro Football Hall of Fame running back Marcus Allen was also in attendance and sent an autographed football to the clubhouse as a congratulatory gift. Molitor's night still wasn't done.
Paul Molitor, 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a triple. 3,000 hits. He is tied now with Roberto Clemente. Now the big right-hander Scanlon delivers. A slider swung on, hit to right, a base hit. Solid single to right again for Molitor, his third hit tonight. And he is now in 20th place all by himself as the all-time hit leader, 3,001.
What a game and a season for the future Hall of Famer.
Well, it was special. You know, I never really set out to try to be a 3,000 hit guy or, you know, some of the other things I was able to do over the course of playing, 21 years. And knowing that I was 39 years old and I needed 211 hits to get to that milestone, I didn't really think it was going to be feasible, but turned out to be a good, healthy year. You know, Tom put me in the lineup 161 times. Unfortunately, we lost Kirby that year, and we really felt if we would have had him in a lineup that still proved to be very productive. Marty Cordova on the rise. Chuck Knobloch had a great year, and we had a very nice offensive season collectively. But, yeah, it turned out to be a really nice homecoming for myself.
That's this week's Tale of the Tape.
Well, the Royals have just now taken the field, and Jose Rosado about to take his warm-up tosses to catcher Mike Sweeney. And here's tonight's Dairy Queen Twins fact. Tonight, Paul Molitor has two former players who are here at the game rooting for him, and they have reached that milestone of 3,000 hits. We'll talk more about that later during tonight's game broadcast. Now a look at the Major League scoreboard. That Milwaukee-Baltimore makeup game at Baltimore rained out today, and there's talk that the two clubs are going to try to make it up as part of a single game next Monday when both teams have the day off again. It was to be Eldred against Krivda, but the game was rained out. Texas at Seattle tonight. That's the start of a big series between the 1 and 2 teams in the American League West, although Texas does have a 6-game lead over the Seattle Mariners. But it's the start of the first of 4, and although Seattle has their backs to the wall, they sweep that series. They're right back into the race with just about 10 games to go. Cleveland at Chicago. The Indians have the magic number down to 4 to clinch the American League Central. And if they win tonight, they'll reduce it by 2 down to 2. New York and Toronto underway. The Yankees who lead by just 2.5 over Baltimore. No score at the end of an inning and a half. Jimmy Key against Paul Quantrill. That's the schedule in the American League. In the National League, the Atlanta-New York game is underway. Denny Nagel against Pete Harnisch. The Braves, who snapped their losing streak yesterday with a win, but are hopeful of getting a little breathing room between themselves and the Montreal Expos. They are, at the moment, 5.5 games ahead of Montreal in the National League East. Nagel against Harnish, no score after a half inning. Los Angeles at Colorado. The Rockies have the longest winning streak in the major leagues right now. They've won 8 in a row. Here's Mel Valdez against Jamie Wright. And Colorado trails Los Angeles. Then the National League West, 5.5 back there in third place. San Diego at San Francisco. Scott Sanders against Osvaldo Fernandez. And the Padres are just a half a game behind the Dodgers. A tight race in the NL West. Here we go, Rosado to Knobloch to get things underway at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. And here's the voice of the Twins, Herb Carneal.
Thank you, John. Hi, everybody. In the first pitch, a called strike. Knobloch hitting at .337, 12 homers, 66 runs batted in. Rained out here yesterday, cloudy earlier today, but it's cleared off beautifully tonight, and Rosado's pitch is onside of ball. Clear skies as we start the game here in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium, 68 degrees. Chuck Knobloch to be followed by Rich Becker and then Paul Molitor. The first of 3 here at Kansas City and the first of a 10-game trip for the Twins, and Rosado's high fastball is fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Underway at 7 past the hour tonight. Jose Rosado, who wears the number 50 and a very impressive young left-hander, only 21 years old. He's from Puerto Rico. 6-5 record, but he's pitched probably a lot better than that record would lead you to believe. Fastball strike, and he gets Knobloch looking. Chuck leading 1 hit to reach 1,000 in his career, calling it on strikes. It'll bring up Rich Becker, batting .290.
Number 25, Rich Becker.
Rich with 11 homers and 62 runs batted in. Rosado, not a big pitcher physically, 6-footer, about 175. Very impressive numbers for him thus far. And the pitch on the way here is a breaking ball low, ball 1. Rosado's pitched 91 innings, only allowed 77 hits. That's just a .229 opponent's batting average. 24 walks, 53 strikeouts in 91 innings. Fastball strike at the knees of Becker, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 gone and nobody on, and the left-hander delivers. Curve, and it's low for a ball. 2-1 to count. Rosado with a good moving fastball, curve, and a changeup, and generally has very good command of his pitches. And here's a fastball to Becker, and he slices it foul down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rosado has not faced the Twins. He's coming off a good outing against Seattle. Won that one 4-2 on the 10th of September. Gave up only 2 runs, 6 hits in 7 innings. Walked 2 and struck out 8. And there's a strike on the outside corner, and Becker gets the ring up from plate umpire Jim Evans. Rosado has fanned the first 2 batters, and here comes Paul Molitor. 2,998 hits. The crowd, and it is not a big crowd, but they're giving Molly a standing ovation. Of course, they did that every time he came up yesterday at the Metrodome. When he went 0 for 3, hit by pitches first time up and then grounded it short his other 3 times up. Two gone and nobody on here in the top of the first inning as the left-hander Rosado delivers. And a fastball strike on the outside corner. Mike Sweeney doing the catching for the Royals. Keith Lockhart at third. David Howard at short. Jose Offerman at second. Craig Paquette at first. Chris Steins, Rod Myers, John Nunley in the outfield. Scotty Olger coaching at third. Ron Gardenhire at first. And Rosado swings into his windup and delivers. Here's a fastball. Line to right, a base hit. Number 2,999 for Paul Molitor. A solid line drive hit to right. Well, there you have it. No doubt about that being a base hit. A fastball on the outside part of the plate. Molly went with it and lined it into right field. And now Sweeney, the catcher, wants to have a word with Rosado as Marty Cordova will come up. Marty hitting .310, 15 homers, 108 runs batted in.
Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 40, Marty Cordova.
The Twins starting tonight with a record of 74 and 75. They're 8 games behind the Orioles in the wild card race. The Royals are 69 and 80, last in the Central. They're 3 behind Milwaukee and 5 behind the Twins. So Molitor on first base, Paquette holding with him. Here's the set by Rosado. And the pitch. Low, bounces off to the right. Molitor will go to second. We'll see how they score that one as the ball kicked off the catcher Sweeney's mitt, rolled off to the right, and Molitor ends up on second base. It'll be a wild pitch charged to Rosado. 1 ball and no strikes. And Rosado, who wears the number 50, goes to the set, checks Molitor, and delivers. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose Rosado, who spent about half the year in the minor leagues. He's had a couple of starts at Wichita in the Texas League, Double-A ball. He was 2-0. Sent him up to Triple-A at Omaha, and he was 8-3 in 15 starts with an earned run average of just over 3. Now the set and the pitch. Swinging a ground ball through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Steins charges the ball. Molitor heading home. The throw cut off, and the Twins lead 1-0. A sharp single through the hole to the left by Marty Cordova, and his 109th run batted in. Molitor scoring from second base.
The right fielder, number 5, Roberto Kelly.
So a pair of 2-out hits here with the wild pitch enabling the Twins to score, and Roberto Kelly coming up, batting in the number 5 spot, playing right field tonight. Roberto hitting .327, 5 homers, 39 runs batted in. Now the set by Rosado. A look to first, and the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball down the right field line. Moving over Nunnally, the right fielder. He's there, and Nunnally makes the catch. Twins going to run on 2 hits and leave 1. Half an inning, the Twins 1, Kansas City 0.
Well, we're back, and certainly a good start for Paul Molitor. They say that first at bat is the biggest at bat of the night, and Molitor responded with a solid single to right field on a Rosado fastball, and the Twins end up getting a run to take the lead at 1-0. A reminder that Minnesota Twins tickets may be purchased at the Twins ticket office at the Metrodome, the Twins Pro Shops in Apple Valley and Roseville, or call 33 Twins outside the metro area. Call the MCI hotline, 1-800-33-TWINS. Operators are standing by now. 1-0 Twins lead. Twins will face the Royals tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Then they move on to Chicago for 2 night games and 2 day games, and conclude the 10-game road trip with 3 games at Cleveland against the Indians. All night games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Twins will be home for their final homestand. It'll be a short one. 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, September 27, 28, and 29 against the Chicago White Sox. That'll end the regular season for the Twins. And with faint hopes for a wild card spot for Minnesota, Twins trail Baltimore by 8 games with 13 to play, and Baltimore was rained out today. So the Twins could only gain a half a game on the Orioles. The Twins would really have to get busy and win a lot of games in their final 13 and hope that not only Baltimore fades, but also the teams ahead of the Twins, the White Sox, the Seattle Mariners, and the Boston Red Sox also fade. Well, we go to the bottom of the first, and here's Offerman to lead off against Brad Radke.
Offerman, switch hitter, batting left, and the first pitch he takes a strike, 0-1. Offerman hitting at .289, left-handed .318, 4 homers, 39 RBIs. And the windup by Brad Radke, the pitch. Fastball bounced to the left side, charged by Mears. He gets it in the glove, throws, and just got him. Nice play. Ball wasn't hard hit. And we have an all-grass field here now at the Kauffman Stadium. So those slow rollers take even a little longer to get out there to the fielders. That was a good play by Mears, who had to really charge it and throw off balance. Rod Myers, the center fielder, batting at .211 with a homer and 2 runs batted in. And a swing and a foul back. 1 strike. Rod Myers wearing number 58. He's a native of Texas, Conroe, Texas, 23 years old. 6-footer, 190. 1-0, Twins leading in the bottom of the first inning, and Brad Radke kicks and throws. A fastball fouled away, and it's 0-2. Brad Radke in his last 12 starts has pitched at least 7 innings in 11 of those last 12 starts. Only time he missed was on August 26 at Toronto when he left in the 4th inning. And the right-hander delivers. Breaking ball swung on. There's a high drive to right. Fairly deep. Kelly back under it. Roberto makes the catch, and there are 2 away. I'll bring up number 4, Keith Lockhart, the left-handed batting third baseman tonight. He has played a lot of second base. Came out of nowhere, had a good year last year with the Royals. Brad Radke tonight making his 33rd start. Brad has 3 complete games. 10 wins, 14 losses. 1-1 in his career with the Royals. 0-1 this year in 2 starts, 1 no decision, and he misses inside, ball 1. Jim Evans, the ball and strike umpire. Larry McCoy at first. Dale Ford umpiring at second. Chuck Merriweather at third. And Radke delivers. Swing and a foul by Lockhart. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brad Radke, 213 innings, 208 hits. Opponents hitting .253. 52 walks, 141 strikeouts. Earned run average 4.3. He's been steadily bringing his earned run average down. And the pitch. Swing and a fly ball again out to right field. Not very deep. Here comes Kelly in. Roberto makes the catch coming in to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. And after 1 inning here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Twins 1, the Royals nothing.
Fan Appreciation Night is Saturday, September 28th, when the Twins host Chicago at 7:05. All fans in attendance receive a limited edition quality poster of Kirby Pocket Night, September 7th. In addition, other great prizes will be awarded throughout the game. Call 33 Twins or 1-800-33-TWINS. This reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. Ron Coomer to lead off for Minnesota, leading 1-0 after 1 inning of play here in the top half of the second inning.
Here's the windup by the left-hander, Jose Rosado. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Ron Coomer hitting at .303, 11 homers, 37 runs batted in. Matt Wahlbeck due next, and then Pat Mears. And Rosado, just 21 years old, into the windup, delivers. Fastball low, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ron Coomer, hitting in the number 6 slot. Now the windup in the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball, deep left. Chris Steins back under it. He waits. He makes the catch. Coomer with a high fly to left, 1 away. The mentions here at Kauffman Stadium, 330 down the foul lines, 375 in the power lanes, 400 to center, 9-foot high fence around the outfield.
The catcher, number 9, Matt Wahlbeck.
Here's Wahlbeck. Matt hitting .233, right-handed, .316. 2 homers, 23 RBIs. Matt Wahlbeck, who is a natural right-handed hitter, he started switching in the instructional league about 5 years ago when he was in the Cubs organization. And he takes a strike here from Rosado, and it's 0-1. And the pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit. So Wahlbeck continues to do a good job from the right side, although he's been struggling from the left. And that was, of course, just the opposite of Rich Becker, who finally gave up switch hitting this year. Kind of an oddity with Rich because he was a natural left-handed hitter. Most of the time when you hear of a player switching later on, even in their amateur careers, they usually are naturally right-handed. They bat left-handed, for one thing, to get a better jump going to first base. And, of course, they face a lot of right-handed pitchers more than left-handers. Pat Mears hitting .269, 7 homers, 62 runs batted in. Paquette holding at first base with Walbeck. And the pitch, swinging at a foul. Walbeck was running, but the pitch fouled off by Mears, 0-1. At Skydome, the Yankees' Tim Raines, a home run with 2 aboard. Raines' 4th of the year. The Yankees lead Toronto 3-0 in the third. Hit that one off Paul Quantrill, who has been moved into the starting rotation with Juan Guzman having an appendectomy a few days ago. Here's a breaking ball, a high drive in a deep left field, being chased way out there by Steins, and that one is over the left center field wall. Wow, did that one carry between the 375 and 400 sign in left center. A 2-run homer for Pat Mears. Number 8 is 63rd, 64th RBIs. Walbeck scores ahead of him, and the Twins now lead 3-0.
Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 13, Todd Walker.
Number 8 for Pat Mears. I wasn't sure that ball was going to carry that far because it was very high in the air, but it cleared the wall to the right of the 375 sign. There's a strike called to Todd Walker, playing at third base, batting ninth, hitting .283. No homers, 4 RBIs. And Rosado fires the strike, and it's 0-2. 0-2 the count. And the pitch. Swing at a curve, and he fouls it off. Still 0-2. That was only the 5th home run given up by Rosado in 92 innings. And the pitch is a strike. Walker called out on strikes. Number 3 for Rosado.
The second baseman, Chuck Knobloch.
So here's Knobloch, called out on strikes in the first inning. Pat Mears' homer measured at .395. Well, one category these two teams are now tied at: home runs. Each team has hit 111, which is the fewest in the American League. Here's a pitch to Chuck. And a high curveball, ball 1. 2 out now, nobody on. The Twins leading 3-0 in the top of the second. They're 6-4 against the Royals thus far in the 96 season. They've won 2 of the 3 here. And Rosado's pitch is a fastball, misses outside. 2-0 out of Knobloch. Hitting .336 at the moment. And the wind up the pitch. Fastball is lined out in the right center field, hustling and can't get it. Nunley, the ball's in the gap, rolls all the way to the fence. Knobloch at second. He'll hold up with a double. His 35th double of the year in the right center field gap. Hit number 1,000 in Chuck Knobloch's career. How about that? This is, of course, Chuck's 6th year with the Twins, and that is 1,000 hits for him. So he is now 1/3 of his way to 3,000 hits. Puts it a little bit into perspective when you figure that Chuck Knobloch in his 6th year now has 1,000 hits in his career, and Paul Molitor needs 1 more to reach 3,000. Becker called on strikes his first at bat, takes a strike in the outside corner. Twins so far with 5 hits off Rosado. They had the pair of singles in the first inning around a wild pitch that scored the run. The run actually scoring on Cordova's single after Molitor went to second on the wild pitch. And here's a breaking ball low to Becker. 1 ball and 1 strike. Get a break in here for you in a moment as Knobloch leads at second. Royals playing straight away. And the pitch low for a ball, and we'll pause briefly now for station identification. Now the set. Rosado looks to second, delivers high on a fastball. So he gets behind 3-1. First time that Rosado has gone to a 3-ball count. And again, we were mentioning that he does have pretty good control. Here is the set now and the pitch. Swinging a line drive down the left field line, slicing, and it is a foul ball. Chris Stein's diving onto the warning track trying to get it, but it was out of his reach. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second game of the series tomorrow night. Same time and also the same time on Wednesday. The Royals, we mentioned, rained out here yesterday with California. They will not make that game up. Royals have won 4 of their last 5. And Rosado steps off. Tomorrow night, Scott Aldred will pitch for the Twins against lefty Chris Haney. Wednesday evening, rookie Travis Miller against the veteran Tim Belcher, who will be going for his 15th win. And Rosado ready now. Checks now block at second with 2 out. And the 3-2 delivery. And Becker, it's a ground ball foul outside of first base. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Twins are hitting .289 as a team. That's 24 points higher than the Royals. And as I mentioned a while ago, each team has hit 111 home runs. 3-2 to Rich Becker. Rosado goes to the set. He delivers. A curveball swung on and bounced between first and second. Nice pickup by Offerman. He throws it to first base. Got him on a close play. Boy, Offerman way to his left, scooped it up, threw the ball in the dirt, but Paquette came up with it. Good play at both ends. So the Twins come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, leave 1. Inning and a half, the Twins 3, the Royals nothing.
The Twins present the Friday night concert series. Great bands will be featured before every Friday home game from 5:30 to 6:45 in the Plaza, located on the west side of the Metrodome. The last Friday night concert coming up September 27th, featuring the Bone Shakers. That's right, the Bone Shakers will be there on the 27th of September.
And the first pitch to Bip Roberts, a call strike. Roberts, who's missed a good part of the season, he had a hamstring injury and also a rib cage injury. Batting .285, left-handed .294. And he lines the ball into left field for a base hit. So, number 1, Bip Roberts with an opposite field hit. The first Royal base runner off Brad Radke. It'll bring up Craig Paquette, number 12, playing at first base. Paquette overall has been one of those little pleasant surprises to the Royals. Oakland had him for a while. They felt like he didn't make contact often enough. He's only batting .221 with 5 homers, and he's hit 3 of those off Brad Radke in 12 at-bats. 4 hits for him in 12 at-bats against Brad and 3 home runs. A swing and a foul back. And they're trying to find some place for him to play. He's played the outfield, third base, now at first base. He has struggled of late. Last 51 at-bats, he only has 7 hits. And Brad Radke goes to the set, checks Roberts, and the pitch is swung on and fouled away. 0-2 the count. John Nunnally on deck. Brad Radke pitched against the Royals back on the 1st of May. Had no decision in 7 2/3 innings, although he gave up only 3 runs and 4 hits. June 28th, he lost 6-2, giving up 6 runs and 9 hits in 6 innings here at Kauffman Stadium. There's a foul off the fist, out of play to the right. Still 0-2. Brad has complete games his last 2 times out. His last outing against Oakland on the 11th of September, he beat him 7-2 on a 5-hitter. Time before that, he had another 5-hitter and beat California 6-2. 3 complete games this year. Now the set and the pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think all things considered, luck has not, on balance, been on Radke's side this year. He easily could have had a much better record. If he wins tonight, he'll have the same record that he posted last year, 11-14. Here's Roberts running, ground ball right at second base. Knobloch fields it, stepping on second, and throws to first for the double play. Well, the Twins kind of got a break there because Roberts running, Knobloch covering second, and the ball hit right at second base. Knobloch fielding the ball while he had his foot on the bag. Number 132 in double plays for the Twins this year. So there are 2 out, nobody on, and here's number 22, John Nunnally, the right fielder, left-handed batter, hitting .221, 5 homers, 16 RBIs. Played quite a bit at Omaha. He had a good year while he was there. Then he takes a strike, 0-1. High and outside on a fastball. Radke swings into his windup and delivers. And Nunnally hits a high fly ball to left center. Becker moving over, Cordova moving over. And it is Cordova who makes the catch. That's all for Kansas City. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. After 2 here at Kauffman Stadium, the Twins 3, the Royals nothing.
Well, a lot of anticipation here. Molitor striding toward the home plate area, and the crowd standing once again. Paul's wife, Linda, has arrived. I don't know if she was here or not for the first at bat for Paul when he had his base hit in the first inning, but I notice now where she's sitting down in the club box seats next to the Twins dugout. Rick Orndorff, the Twins photographer, also there. He's been dispatched from the Twin Cities to see if Molitor can get hit number 3,000. Here we go, Herb. Let's see what happens here.
All right, Molly lined a solid single to right his first time up. Off an outside fastball and a 1-strike pitch. He is now hitting .343. And Rosado's first pitch to him is low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Molitor third in the batting race in the American League. He's right now 1 point behind Frank Thomas, the second man of the race behind Rodriguez. And there's a line foul off to the right. Out of play, and it's 1-1. Molitor, if he could get hot, still an outside chance to win the batting title, although Rodriguez is hitting .367. And the pitch. Fastball inside, 2-1.
So far, nothing but fastballs. He hasn't given him a breaking pitch as yet, and either at bat.
And the 2-1 delivery. Another fastball and hit high to right center field. Nunnally, the right fielder, under this one. And he's got it, 1 away. Molitor flies to right on his second at bat, so he's still at 2,999. It'll bring up Cordova, who singled through the hole to left in the first inning to drive in a run. Well, Jose Rosado was quoted as saying that he was just going to throw Molitor his best stuff. He did not want to walk him. He was just going to try to throw him his best stuff, and he says if he can hit it, I'll tip my cap to him. Here's a high fastball to Cordova, ball 1. So Molitor 1 for 2. He is now 25 points behind Alex Rodriguez for the major league lead in batting, and Cordova's going back to the third base dugout for something.
You know, Herb, we've had a chance to talk to a lot of people, including Terry Crowley and Tom Cullen, and even Paul Molitor himself. There really is no way to pitch Molitor. I mean, he's such a good hitter. Pitchers probably more than not have tried to come inside to him, pitch him inside, and have had some success in that way. But his bat speed's still very good. He gets the bat head out and goes with the pitch very well. I just don't know if there's a way to try to get him out. I asked Bob Boone before the game. He says, we'll go by the scouting report, but there's no real way to pitch him.
Here's a strike, 1-1. I remember when Molly was playing at the University of Minnesota, We had Jerry Zimmerman as the catcher. They went over to see the Gophers one time, and I said, "You see any good prospects?" He said, "Well, that Molitor, he's really got a quick bat."
Yeah, he still has it too.
Swing and a miss. Now, I thought Jimmy Gantner, his former teammate at Milwaukee, made a very good point, because Molitor has always had that short stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike some of the power hitters who have longer and a little slower swings, he hasn't had to adjust very much over the years. The swing has just been about the same.
Yeah, he did mention before the game tonight, he said, I felt like I've probably broken more bats this year than I've ever broken in my career. That's because pitchers are trying to pitch me inside, so.
There's a swing and a miss by Cordova and a high outside fastball. Yeah, he pretty much got jammed every time yesterday by Torres on that hard fastball that runs in on right-handers. You swing and you hit it down near the hands, and it doesn't feel good. And as you mentioned, quite a number of times you end up with a broken bat. 2 out here. The Twins have the lead, 3-0 in the third inning, and Roberto Kelly fly to right his first at bat. Takes a strike.
You hear a lot about pitchers wanting to own the plate and the inside portion of the plate against the hitter, and the hitter wants to try to get that portion of the plate. Molitor's probably like that, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he wants that inside part of the plate to be his, and he doesn't crowd the plate as much as Knobloch does, but he's on top of the plate pretty good.
1-1 now to Roberto Kelly, and the pitch by Rosado is a curve, and he missed low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Outfield playing Roberto straight away, infield back, and Rosado, the left-hander, delivers low on a fastball. 3-1. So for the second time in the game, he goes to a 3-ball count. He went 3-1, 3-2 to Becker last inning. Then he fouled off one, and then Offerman made a good play to throw him out. There's a foul off to the right and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Rosado picking up the rise in the bag. Rosado, no walks. He has struck out 4. Full count here with 2 out. Roberto Kelly waiting in the pitch. Very high, and he walked it. Threw a fastball way out of the strike zone that time. So Rosado gives up his first walk. And here comes Ron Coomer, who flied to left in the second inning.
The first baseman, Ron Cooper.
Well, one more homestand for the Twins after this trip. That'll be a short one, though. The White Sox starting a 3-game series at the Dome on Friday night, the 27th of September. And the set here by Rosado, the pitch. Coomer takes a high fastball, ball 1. Following the series here, the Twins go to Chicago and then to Cleveland for the last leg of the trip. Indians 4 games away from clinching the Central Division. And Rosado throws to first base. Kelly gets back. Roberto has stolen 9 bases, 11 attempts. Paquette holding with Kelly. Here's the set. Snap throw over to first base. He gets back. Now, Jose Rosado, you have to be impressed with him considering he's only 21 years old and how well he generally is around the plate with his pitches. And he gets a strike over to Coomer, 1-1, although he just walked Roberto Kelly. But starting the game tonight, he'd only walked 24 batters in 91 innings. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kelly gets his lead. Here's the set by the left-hander. The pitch. Coomer chops it foul at the plate.
Couple of score updates. Frank Thomas drives in a run with a double, and Chicago leads Cleveland 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. The Indians trying to wrap up the American League Central in this series. They need to win 2 games to do it. They're playing 3. And how about Tim Raines, Herb? Another 3-run homer. He has 6 runs batted in, and the Yankees now lead Toronto 7-0 in the 5th inning. 2 3-run homers for Tim Raines. 4th and 5th homers of the year.
He had 3 all year because he has been on the deal a while. And that's something. Here's the set now by Rosado, and he checks Kelly. Delivers. Ooh, just outside with a fastball. 2-2 the count. Three nothing. Twins have the lead here. Top of the 3rd inning, 2 out. Roberto Kelly on first base. 2-2 to Ron Coomer. And the pitch. Change just outside. He had a notion, did not swing, and it's a full count. So Kelly will be running this time. Here's the set by Jose Rosado. Takes a long look at first and steps off. One rumor around Kansas City is that Bob Boone, the manager, might be looked at by California, although Boone has a contract to manage the Royals next year. And a throw to first by Rosado, and Kelly gets back. Tell you, boy, there probably been enough rumors to last for a while on who's going to end up managing the California Angels. Boone, of course, was a catcher several years at California. Now the set. And the pitch. Swing and a foul off to the right and out of play. Count remains 3-2 to Ron Coomer. In the first inning with 2 out, Molitor single, took second on a wild pitch, scored on Cordova's single. 1 out in the second. Walbeck singled to left, and Mears homered over the left center field wall. His 8th home run of the year. And Rosado has the sign from Sweeney. Here's the set and the pitch. Swung on a line drive to center. Backing off and making the catch, Rod Myers, to retire the side. Coomer hit it hard. Picked off by the center fielder. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. So at the end of 2.5 here in Kansas City, Twins 3, the Royals nothing.
Well, every Sunday home game is a Super America Night Hole Day when fans 14 and under receive free admission, accompanied by a paid adult. You buy one $4 ticket at Super America and receive 2 youth Night Hole tickets absolutely free. The last Super America Night Hole Day is September 29th, which is the final game of the regular season, and it's against the Chicago White Sox, getting underway at 1:05. Sunday, the 29th, the final afternoon game. Well, the American League president, Gene Budig, in attendance tonight. Had an opportunity to chat with him briefly before the game. I asked him, I said, what about these divisional races now, Dr. Budig, in the final 2 weeks of the season? He said, boy, they're going to be hot. He said, look for Baltimore and New York to have a Jim Dandy series starting on Tuesday, tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium. And of course, the Rangers and the Mariners playing 4 games out on the West Coast at the Kingdom, and their series starts tonight.
Mike Sweeney, the right-handed batting catcher, long fly to right center, caught by Rich Becker right at the edge of the warning track in right center. Mike Sweeney hitting .270 with a pair of homers, 17 RBIs, flies deep to Becker, and it'll bring up number 14, Chris Steins. Chris Steins, number 14, that's spelled S-T-Y-N-E-S. 23 years old. He plays some infield as well as outfield. From Boca Raton, Florida. He belonged to the Blue Jays, came over as part of the David Cone deal last year. Radke's pitch, inside corner strike. Oh and 1. And the pitch by Brad. A fastball right in there. Strike 2. David Howard due next. And the pitch. The bouncing ball out near second base. Backhanded by Knobloch. He throws it to first and got him. Nice play by Knobloch. Charging in front of the bag at second. Have to make that off-balance throw to first base. 2 up and 2 down, and David Howard. Howard, a switch hitter, batting .227, left-handed .237. 4 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Number 6, David Howard, the number 9 man in the order. Radke gave up a leadoff hit to Bip Roberts last inning, but he was doubled up. And Radke delivers. Swing and a foul back. 3-0. Twins have the lead here in the bottom of the third inning. And the pitch on the way. Swing at a curveball, a ground ball to the left of Knobloch. Fumbles it, picks it up, throws, got him at first base. 4-3 the play in a 1-2-3 inning for Radke. 3 innings now here at Kauffman Stadium. It's the Twins 3, Kansas City 0. Well, here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, the Twins 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Kansas City no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Paul Molitor singled his first time up. Flied out his second time up, so he is at 2,999 hits. And we want to remind you that Minnesota Twins baseball is brought to you in part by Hardware Hank. You've got a lot more going for you with Hank. Twins 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Royals no runs, just 1 hit and no errors. We go to the 4th, and for more play-by-play, here's John.
All right, the leadoff batter for the Twins is going to be the number 7 hitter in the order, Matt Walbeck. He's batting right-handed, and the first pitch to him is low, 1 ball. Walbeck had a solid single to left in his first at bat, and then Pat Mears followed with a home run, his 8th homer of the year, and the Twins with a 3-0 lead. Cordova drove in a run with a base hit in the first inning. Down low, 2-0 the count. Rosado. He's 6 feet even, 175 pounds, well built, and here's the delivery. Swinging a foul. This one coming back our way, but it's on the netting and out of play, and it'll be a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Most of the people that you talked to about Rosado, we chatted with Bob Boone before the game. I also talked to Royals broadcaster Paul Splittorff. They talk about what an outstanding athlete he is. He was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, but he grew up in the Dominican. Here's a fly ball to center, and it is an easy play for Rod Myers. He moves to his left, makes the catch, and there's 1 up and 1 down. The Twins' leadoff batter, Matt Walbeck, is retired. Puerto Rico is his native home after being born in New Jersey. Now the batter will be Mears, who homered in his first at bat, his 8th home run of the year. The Twins are leading 3-0. Here's Rosado to the line, and the left-hander delivers, and a foul back and out of play, and a strike 1 count. Let's pause here for station identification. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Here is Jose Rosado's pitch, a strike, a fastball on the inside corner, and 2 strikes a count. Well, the Yankees have a big lead over Toronto, 7-0. If they win tonight, they'll be 3 games ahead of Baltimore. And the 2 teams open a 3-game series tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium. And the pitch, and it hit him. Mears couldn't get out of the way out of an inside fastball. And Pat Mears is at first base, hit by a pitch. Rosado started the year at AA, then went to AAA and was promoted to the major leagues in early June. He came up on the 12th of June. Already he's pitched 2 complete games and 1 shutout. Here's the number 9 hitter in the Twins order, Todd Walker, who struck out in his first at bat. 1 of 4 strikeouts for Jose Rosado. Here's the set now by the left-hander. He looks to the runner at first and pitches a strike, a breaking pitch across. The Los Angeles, Colorado game will be getting started in about an hour. And the San Diego, San Francisco game was due to get underway shortly. Another strike, a fastball is in there, and it's 2 strikes to count. Let me change the time on that Dodger-Colorado game. That one will be getting underway very shortly. And then the San Diego-San Francisco game will be starting in about an hour. Boy, be watching those 2 games for the National League West race. Here's the set now by the left-hander Rosado. Throw to first. Back in time is Mears. The Dodgers leading San Diego by a half a game. And with the 8-game win streak, and right now, the way the Colorado Rockies are playing, boy, you've got to like their chances. Although they're 5.5 out, they've won 8 in a row. And they're playing the Dodgers at home, where they very rarely lose. Colorado is now 31 games over 500 at home, 53-22. Walker awaiting the 0-2 delivery. Set by Rosado to pitch. It's a high fastball. Earlier game, which was to be a makeup game between Milwaukee and Baltimore, was rained out at Camden Yards today. They're going to try to make it up again on Monday when both teams have another off day. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And Rosado throws to first, a low throw. And it's picked up nicely by Paquette, the first baseman, and it'll be a count of still 1 ball and 2 strikes to Todd Walker. 1 away, 1 on. Twins lead 3-0. Here's the set by the left-hander. And Rosado looks to the runner at first. Long hesitation and a pitch. Inside with a fastball. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rosado does not have an overpowering fastball. It's 88 to 90 miles per hour. But he moves the ball very, very well in the strike zone. Talking to Paul Splitart before the game, he said he is a pitcher that can really get command of the strike zone in his pitching performance. And a pitch. Just missed low. Oh, boy, he didn't miss by much with that one. 3-2. Boy, that looked like a good pitch. But he didn't get the call from plate umpire Jim Evans, and a full count now to Walker. Here's Offerman, the second baseman, coming in now to talk to Rosado. Let's see if Tom Kelly puts Pat Mears in motion on a 3-2 one-out delivery coming to Todd Walker. Rosado can move the ball into all 4 areas of the strike zone. Up and down, away and in. Here's the set now and the look and the payoff pitch. And Mears is holding, and Walker swings and fouls down the left field line and out of play. And it's still 3-2. Twins have 3 runs on 5 hits. And the Royals, no runs on 1 hit. There are no errors. It's the opening game of a 3-game series with the Twins and the Royals. Tomorrow night, Aldred against Haney. And then on Wednesday night, the Twins are going to pitch Travis Miller against Tim Belcher. Here's the set. And a throw to first. Paquette playing off the bag at the moment, and he had to move toward first base. Have to be careful about a balk there. That first baseman or the fielder taking the pickoff attempt has to be near the bag, or it could be a balk. Here is the 3-2 delivery. Nope, Rosado steps off again. Here's the set now by the left-hander. He looks to first and Mears and delivers. There goes Mears, and another foul to the left field seats. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Yankees leading by a score of 7-0 after 5. Raines has hit 2 3-run homers in that game. Jimmy Key against Paul Quantrill. And now at the end of 2, Chicago leads Cleveland 1-0. Jack McDowell against Wilson Alvarez. McDowell is 11-9. Alvarez is 15-8. Later tonight at the Kingdom, Texas at Seattle, John Burkett against Jamie Moyer. Payoff pitch set by Rosado. There goes the runner, and a foul hit toward the Twins dugout. There's room here for third baseman Lockhart, and he makes a nice catch. He nearly lost balance as he banged into the facing of the auxiliary photography's booth beyond the Twins dugout. But he hung on to it, and Lockhart grabs it to retire Walker. Mears back to first base, and the batter now is going to be Knobloch, who is 1 for 2. Chuck Knobloch reaching a milestone in his last at bat, a double to the gap in right center, his 1,000th hit, and he's just completing his 6th year in the big leagues. So if Knobloch can hang in there for 12 more years and average 1,000 hits every 6 years, he'll reach the coveted 3,000 mark in his playing career. You have to think he's got a chance at it. Here's a time called by plate umpire Jim Evans. The time, of course, was called by Knobloch and requested by the plate umpire. And no pitch, so we'll await the first pitch once again. Three to nothing, Twins leading. Mears at first, and here's a pitch. It's up high, 1 ball. Knobloch struck out in his first at bat. Twins announced earlier today that they have sent right-handed pitcher LaTroy Hawkins home to Gary, Indiana for the remainder of the season. The decision was made by Twins general manager Terry Ryan following further evaluation of a tender right bicep for Hawkins. He couldn't pitch. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swinging a foul out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Twins figured no sense in having LaTroy around. They're going to shut him down for the rest of the season, and the Hawkins will, I'm sure, be given a strong opportunity to see if he can gain a spot in the Twins rotation in 1997 in spring training. Hawkins made the team out of spring training this year, but was ineffective and sent back to AAA. And he had a decent season with the Salt Lake Buzz. Here's the 1-1 delivery now. Rosado hesitates and pitches. And here's a ground ball hit foul down the third baseline. And the count will be 1-2 to Chuck Knobloch. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Knobloch batting with 2 away and 1 on. Mears at first. He was hit by a pitch. Rosado with a long hesitation, and he throws over to first. Going into this season, there were only 3 active players with more than 2,500 hits. Molitor, of course, being one. Andre Dawson, who has announced his retirement after this season with the Florida Marlins. And Wade Boggs, 2,541 hits. Here's the 1-2 delivery as Rosado again hesitates for a long period of time and pitches. There goes the runner, and here's a drive to right. It is caught by right fielder John Nunnally. Boy, did he make a nice catch. Charging in, the sinking liner in front of him, and he reached out and grabbed it to make the catch to retire Chuck Knobloch, and the Twins are out here in the top half of the 4th inning. That was a good play by right fielder John Nunnally. For the Twins, no runs, no hits, 1 left. They've stranded 4, 1 each in the 4 innings they batted, and now at the end of 3.5, 3-0 Minnesota.
Well, Brad Radke was at to face only 9 batters so far. He's given up the hit, but the Twins have a double play. And now it is time for the mow-em down inning, the snapper mow-em down inning. And if Brad Radke mows down the Royals, 3 up and 3 down by any means, our contestant, Louise Lambie of Columbia Heights, Minnesota, wins a snapper walk more. It's valued at $350, so don't fail to stay tuned for more details.
I stand corrected on players that began the season with more than 2,500 hits. Eddie Murray, of course, who already has 3,000 hits, started the year with more than 2,500. He is the 4th player. Murray started the year with 3,071, and he's still climbing. Here's Offerman, the switch-hitting second baseman. First pitch from Radke's a ball. He's batting left-handed, and he's 0 for 1 in the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Offerman, who is a talented player and just recently was offered a multi-year contract, and he accepted it. And the pitch. There's a strike. 2-1 to count. Signed a 2-year deal, actually. Herc Robinson, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, signed 2 veteran players, Offerman and Belcher, to extended contracts. And the pitch. High. 3-1. 3-0. Twins leading. Offerman, the former Dodger who came over to the Royals. He played some shortstop at the start, but they moved him from that position. Here's the 3-1 delivery and a foul to the left out of play. 3-2. He even played some in the outfield this year. He started a game in center field recently, but he's played first base, second base, and can play some shortstop. The Royals would prefer not to play him at shortstop, where he struggled when he was with the Dodgers. But he's always been a talented hitter. He's hitting at .289 this year in the pitch. Here's a high drive to deep right center field. Kelly is back. He's at the track, and he makes the one-handed catch. Offerman is out on a fly ball to deep right center field. Roberto Kelly drifting back and to his right to make the catch. Well, Brad Radke is getting away with a minimum number of pitches, only 24 in the first 3 innings. Extends himself a bit with a 3-2 pitch to Offerman, but gets him on the 6th pitch on the fly ball to right center. Now Rod Myers, the rookie center fielder. And the pitch. There's a strike right in there. Twins have 3 runs on 5 hits, and the Royals have no runs on 1 hit. Kansas City scored 8 runs in the last 2 games that they played against California. 8 runs each. They enter the game tonight 12th in the American League in batting with a .265 batting average. Twins are second, .289, and they trail league-leading Cleveland at .291. Foul out of play. Quickly 2 strikes to Rod Myers. And the pitch. High. 1-2 the count to Myers. Well, Bob Boone was singing the praises of the Kansas City rookie outfielder, Rod Myers, before the game. He thinks he's going to be a very good player in the future. Here's a pitch low. 2-2 the count. Well, an update from Chicago. A home run by Frank Thomas, his 36th. He had 3 yesterday and now has 1 tonight. And 36 for the season. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Low and another full count. 3-2. Frank Thomas had 3 home runs in his first 3 at bats yesterday in the game at Fenway. But he failed to get that 4th homer. He gets his 36th tonight. 2-0. Chicago leading Cleveland. Here's the payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. And a walk on 6 pitches to Rod Myers. First walk given up by Brad Radke. And the second base runner of the game for the Kansas City Royals. The first was Bip Roberts, who singled to left in the 2nd inning, but then he was quickly erased in a double play ball. Here's Keith Lockhart, hitting at .277, 5 homers, 51 runs batted in, 112 hit this year. Here's another home run. Back-to-back homers by the White Sox, Frank Thomas and Harold Baines. 3-0, Chicago leading. Here's Lockhart swinging in the first offering, hitting a fly ball to right center. Kelly coming on. Becker coming on. Rich calling off Roberto, and a one-handed catch by Rich Becker retires Lockhart on a pitch. And here's Bip Roberts, who has the only hit of the game for Kansas City.
The designated hitter, Bip Roberts.
Stick around, folks. Paul Molitor will be batting second in the top half of the 5th inning when the Twins come to bat. Molly going for hit number 3,000. He got his 2,999th at his first at bat tonight. Roberts with a swing and a miss at a fastball. Strike 1. 3-0. Twins leading. 2-run homer by Pat Mears. A run batted in single by Marty Cordova, accounting for the Twins' runs tonight. Here's the set by Radke. Checks the runner at first and pitches. Here's a line drive. Foul down the left field line and out of play. 2 strikes to count to Bip Roberts. Roberts has been on the shelf for quite a bit of this season. He's a good player. He has only 309 at bats coming into the game tonight. No homers, 49 runs batted in. He's the DH tonight and hitting at .285. Now the set. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Inside, it almost hit him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tomorrow night, Scott Aldred against Chris Haney. We're on the air at 6:35 with a pregame. First pitch, 7:05 Central Time. Now the set, the look by the right-hander. Radke delivers. There goes the runner. Swinging a ground ball. Hit to Knobloch at second. He's got it. Throws on to first to retire Bip Roberts. Knobloch was moving over toward second base, but he abruptly stopped, retraced his steps, and got back to the ball to throw out Roberts for the final out here in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left for Kansas City. And now at the end of 4 full innings, Twins 3 and the Royals nothing. Here's Rich Becker to lead off for the Twins in the 5th inning. Molitor will be next, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled down the first baseline by Becker. And a strike 1 count. Rich tonight is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And second baseman Offerman made a very good play to throw him out in his second at bat in the 2nd inning. Molitor waiting to hit next. Boy, what's he thinking about in that on-deck circle right now as he watches Jose Rosado pitch to Rich Becker here in the top half of the 5th inning. And the delivery, it's down low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean Harlan, the media relations director for the Twins, he brought by a packet that's just full of Paul Molitor's statistics on his career and all of his hits. Even has a breakdown of every pitcher that Molitor has gotten a hit off of. Swing and a miss by Becker, and 2 strikes to count. Interestingly, John Williams, who hosts the John Williams Show on our flagship WCCO, tomorrow morning starting at 6:30, he's going to do a declaration of Molitor's base hits off the pitchers, starting reading the hits at the Metrodome with help from many people outside a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. John kind of struck the idea on his show today, and one of Paul's sisters called and recommended some of the people that should come over to help read the names. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Becker is out, and here we go, folks. Molitor stepping up for hit number 3,000, his second try. He singled in the first inning. He was out on a fly ball in the third inning. And Molitor, very calmly, mentioning something to catcher Mike Sweeney as he steps in there. Molitor has been looking for a good pitch on the first pitch from Rosado. Both times when Molitor batted, well, the first time he saw a strike, the second time he saw a ball. But you can be sure that Molitor is really looking for a pitch to jump on here to get that 3,000th hit. And here's the pitch. Line drive, foul to the right and out of play, strike 1. Never before here at Kauffman Stadium or in Kansas City has a player gotten his 3,000th hit. George Brett of the Kansas City Royals, who has 3,000 hits, got his in California. 1 strike to count. Rosado winds, kicks and fires, and Molitor swings, and it's a fly ball to right center field. Chased by the right fielder and the center fielder, and it falls in. Molitor for 2, Molitor for 3, and it could be history making. It is. Paul Molitor is the first player in the history of baseball to get a triple on his 3,000th hit. And the dugout clears, and Paul Molitor is being congratulated by his teammates. What an honor for Paul Molitor. Here comes the bullpen. And Paul Molitor is the first player of the 21 in the history of the game to get a 3-base hit for his 3,000th hit. How about that for Paul Molitor? Wow, what a thrill.
Well, I tell you, it looked like Myers was going to catch that ball for a moment. He gave it a good try, was running hard. The ball carried just out of his reach, landed out in deep right center field. And Paul Molitor, actually, he's now tied with Roberto Clemente for 20th place with 3,000 hits. And he has a chance to pass a couple more great hitters who collected 3,000 or more hits. His next target will be Al Kaline, who had 3,007. Paul Molitor waving to the crowd. They've really been very excited about him here at Kansas City, as much as they were at home. It's not a tremendously big crowd here, but very enthusiastic. And I'm sure John and fans, a lot of the people have seen what they came to see. Paul Molitor entering the record books with his 3,000th career hit. And as I believe you mentioned, a triple.
Yep.
A very unusual thing. It's never happened on a 3,000 hit.
Never before. That's history making. I mean, actual history making here at Kauffman Stadium. 5 players have had doubles of the 21. Honus Wagner, Eddie Collins, Stan Musial, Roberto Clemente, and Al Kaline. But no player has ever had a triple or a home run. And in all honesty, Herb, the ball probably should have been caught in right center field. That was a very catchable ball for either the right fielder, John Nunnally, or the center fielder, Rod Myers. But they got kind of mixed up.
Yeah, they did. They did. There was some kind of lack of communication or whatever out there. But as I said earlier, it looked like Rod Myers was going to catch the ball. Then the right fielder was coming over to try to help out John Nunnally. And apparently Myers saw him coming and took his eye off the ball. And then they tried to catch up with it again and didn't quite make it. And boy, I'm sure that Paul Molitor's breathing a sigh of relief. Looked like he got a pitch up around the shoulders that time. Hit it very deep to right center field.
Yeah, it was a ball that it looked like it was going to be caught. I'm watching the replay right now to see if Myers got his glove on the ball, but he did not. And when Paul got to third base and the dugout cleared, the bullpen cleared, all the players coming up to congratulate Paul, Tom Kelly came out for a special word with Paul Molitor, and Molitor now acknowledging pitcher Jose Rosado. Rosado was pointing to Paul. Paul is now acknowledging the Kansas City dugout as they appreciate the feat here tonight by Paul Molitor. And then Paul very calmly, almost nonchalantly, blew a kiss to his wife Linda, who's sitting in the club box next to the Twins dugout. Kind of a neat thing by Paul Molitor. And also Paul's daughter is there, and many members of Paul's family, sisters, brothers, they're all in attendance here tonight, and what a thrill. I would imagine when Paul comes back to the dugout after the inning is over, and we're going to get back to the game now after the special video presentation on the board here, Paul will have an opportunity to go over to see his wife, Linda, and to be with her. Here's a foul by Cordova and a strike one count.
Just one other note that Paul Molitor gets his 3,000th hit on the same date that Dave Winfield got his 3,000th hit for the Twins at the Metrodome just 3 years ago. Two of the guys from St. Paul on the same date getting their 3,000th career hit.
Yeah, Paul talked about that in an article in the newspaper today about the fact that this would really be something. Here's a high pop-up off the bat of Cordova. See if it's playable for first baseman Paquette near the dugout. He misjudged it and reaches back and makes the catch and retires Cordova on an 0-1 delivery. That was a 0-1 pitch that Molitor hit. A fly ball that really was hit to the gap in right center field. It appeared that the ball was going to be caught by either the center fielder, Rod Myers. He looked like he had the best chance to catch it, or Nunnally, the right fielder, and he had an opportunity to catch it. Neither did. It fell between them and dropped in for a three-base hit. When Molitor saw the ball drop in, he really turned on the gas from second base to third base to get that three-base hit. I wonder if he knew that no other player in the history of the game has ever gotten a triple in their 3,000th hit.
Probably not.
Yeah, I doubt very much that he did. Pitches high to batter Roberto Kelly. You know, when you think about it here, when you think about the 20 that got their 3,000 hits, yeah, here's a bouncer right back to the pitcher. We'll expound on that a little bit more. And Kelly is thrown out on a 1-0 delivery. But, ladies and gentlemen, history is made here at Kauffman Stadium. And Paul Molitor, as he comes off, he goes to his wife and gets a big hug and a kiss from his wife and his daughter. And an opportunity for Paul Molitor to enjoy a great thrill for Paul Molitor, his wife Linda, and his daughter Blair. And Molitor now waving to many members of his family. We'll get to break in just a moment, but this is a historic evening here at Kauffman Stadium. And now Paul goes back into the dugout. So at the end of 4.5 innings of play, the Twins are continuing to hold the lead. Molitor has that 3,000th hit. And the score at the end of 4.5, the Twins 3 and the Royals nothing.
Well, the fans here are still buzzing about a moment to remember. Paul Molitor with his 3,000th career hit, only the 21st player in the history of Major League Baseball to reach that plateau in hit totals. And the Twins are leading here 3-0 as they go to the last of the fifth.
And the leadoff batter for the Royals is going to be Craig Paquette, a ground ball to deep short. He's going to reach in a base hit. I was mentioning, Herb, about the fact that Molitor is the first player in the history of baseball of the 21 that have had 3,000 hits. Cap Anson, of course, was the first 99 years ago, but the first to get a triple. When you think about it, you know, in anticipation of that 3,000th hit, I'm sure there have been many hitters that have had that opportunity that have probably shortened up on the bat a little bit. They just want to get a base hit to get it over with, right. You know. They're not thinking about an opportunity for an extra base hit.
Well, he got a pitch up in the strike zone, and he drove it to deep right center.
And the batter for the Royals now, after the leadoff single by Paquette, is John Nunnally. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's certainly a wonderful event here that Molitor got the three-base hit, but the ball was hit to the gap in right center field, and Herb and I were even chatting in between innings. Had Nunnally not gotten so close to Myers, I think he would have made a rather routine catch on that ball, but it just fell in front of him, and Molitor ended up getting the three-base hit. The
unique thing, of course, is that the three-base hit, the rarest hit in baseball.
Well, it's interesting. We were on the airplane today. I was sitting with Jim Wiesner, the Twins clubhouse man, and we were talking about the fact we were wondering a foul out of play in the count of 2 balls and 1 strike. If the Twins would come off the bench, if they would come out of the dugout and out of the bullpen to congratulate Paul, which they did. And, Paul's first year with the Twins, he's not been a long-time Minnesota Twin player, though he is a native of St. Paul. And Weezy said, well, I hope he gets a triple because then they won't have too far to go. And they didn't.
That applies to the dugout,
That's
the
right.
bullpen as well as the dugout.
Exactly. Their Twins dugout is on the left side here, near the third base bag and the third base coaching box, and also the bullpen is out in left field, so they didn't have far to go. They didn't have to go all the way across to first base or out to second base.
Well, Paul's always been a team player.
He cooperated, right, Herb? 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to batter Nunnally with 1 on and nobody out. And here's a foul out of play, and the count holds at 2-2.
No, he said something the other day that shows, I think, the kind of a team guy he really is. That he said, one reason I'll be glad to get this over with, he says, I don't want it to be a distraction to the rest of the team. He says, there's a lot of attention as I get closer to 3,000, and he said, I don't want it to be a distraction to the other guys.
Yeah, he even mentioned that in the little tease we used for the pregame. Tonight he said that here's Radke's 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, and a good strikeout for Brad Radke after the leadoff infield single by Paquette. And Nunnally is down, and that'll be the first strikeout of the game for Brad Radke. Twins are leading 3-0. Paul said what was lost in his 0-for-3 effort yesterday was the fact that the Twins lost the game. He said if you read the papers or listen to the the recaps and the broadcast, nobody knows that the Twins lost and pretty much took themselves out of the wild card. He said that's the disappointment of the fact that so much attention has been put on me getting 3,000 hits and not the emphasis on the team trying to win games to stay in the wild card hunt. Now the batter is Mike Sweeney, the catcher, number 7 hitter, and he was out on a fly ball in his first at bat. Still a lot of excitement here, and Paul Molitor getting his 3,000th hit. If you missed it, a triple in the top half of the 5th inning. The first player in the history of the game of baseball to get a triple on his 3,000th hit. The other 20 had either singles or doubles. No players ever had a triple or a home run. And the 5 players have mentioned that had doubles, Honus Wagner, Eddie Collins, Stan Musial, Roberto Clemente, and Al Kaline. The other 15 prior to Molitor all had singles. Matter of fact, I think the last 8 had singles for their 3,000th hit. Eddie Murray was the 20th to get 3,000 hits, and now Paul Molitor is the 21st. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Sweeney is down. A good recovery here by Brad Radke as he gives up that leadoff single in the first pitch to Paquette and then gets the next batter, John Nunnally, on 7 pitches and strikes him out, and then strikes out Nunnally on 3 pitches. And the batter is the right-handed hitting Chris Steins. Ground ball to third. Walker's got it. Fires over to first, and that's going to be all for the Royals. They're out in the bottom of the 5th inning. That leadoff single to short is wasted by the Royals. Only their 2nd hit of the game. And the runner Paquette is left there. At the end of 5 full innings of play. On a big night for Paul Molitor and the Twins. Molitor has his 3,000th hit, and the Twins are leading at the end of 5 by a score of 3-0.
Well, between innings on the big video board, we heard from George Brett, who's down the Royals front office. Of course, a 3,000 hit career for Brett. Also, Paul Molitor's good friend and former teammate Robin Yount, who has followed Paul for the last couple of games. He is here tonight. And also Rod Carew, who got 3,000 hits when he was with California. Unfortunately, he did get the 3,000 against the Twins, but they were all on the big video board and passing along their congratulations to Molitor.
Yeah, just looking on the monitor, Todd Walker, who has 15 big league hits, congratulating Paul Molitor, who now has 3,000 big league hits. And the Twins batting in the top half of the 6th inning, leading by a score of 3-0. And the pitch to Ron Coomer, a hot smash to third. It was a 1-0 delivery. And a throw across to first. Lockhart to first baseman Paquette, and there's 1 up and 1 down for the Twins. Rosado is still in there for the Kansas City Royals. Paul Molitor, by the way, is the fifth player in the 90s to get his 3,000th hit. The others, Robin Yount, George Brett, Dave Winfield, and Eddie Murray. And it's interesting that members of the Twins have had the opportunity to see three of the five, Murray, Winfield, and also Molitor now. And then they've seen four of the last six. Rod Carew, of course, got his 3,000th hit back in 1985. He was the only player in the 80s to get 3,000 hits. And then the most players to get 3,000 hits in the decade of the 70s, there were seven. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Al Kaline, Pete Rose, and Lou Brock and Carl Yastrzemski. Seven players in the 70s. Here's Walbeck trying to bunt for a base hit. He fouled it for a strike. Fouls another way, 0-2. Then you go back to the 50s, one player, Stan Musial. The 40s, one player, Paul Wainer. And then the 20s, there were three players, Ty Cobb, Tris Speaker, and Eddie Collins. Here's a ground ball to short. Easy play for Howard. Throw on to first. Welbeck is out, and they're two away, and the Twins top half of the sixth. They lead in this game by a score of 3-0. Back into the teens in 1914, Napoleon Lajoie and Honus Wagner got their 3,000th hit. And then all the way back to the 1800s, 1897, the first ever, Camp Anson with the National League Chicago team. He got 3,000 hits. But Paul Molitor, a history-making night here for Major League Baseball. A triple on his 3,000th hit. Here's a strike to Pat Mears. He's batting with two down and nobody on. The Twins here in the sixth inning are leading by a score of 3-0. Mears homered for the Twins in the second inning. He pounds one out to short. Played by Howard. And he throws on to first. And there's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Rosado. 7 pitches worth, and that's all for the Minnesota Twins in the top half of the sixth inning. 3 up, 3 down. So we go to the bottom of the sixth, and the Twins lead 3-0. Well, a big night. 3,000 hits for Paul Molitor. He got it in the fifth inning, a triple with one out. He hit a ball to right center field. It looked like the ball was going to be caught by the center fielder, Rod Myers, for the Royals. Then John Nunnally, the right fielder, came over, and the two kind of got mixed up, and the ball fell between them. And it went in for a three-bagger for Molitor, and he has his 3,000th hit. Now here's David Howard leading off for the Royals in the bottom of the sixth inning. He grounded out in his first at bat, and he's 0 for 1. Score updates: Atlanta leads New York 3-0. Top of the sixth. A Braves win, and they'll be 6 ahead of Montreal. The Expos are idle tonight. Here's a pitch outside, 1-1 in the count. Howard is the number 9 hitter in the order for Kansas City. Solo homer by Ruben Rivera, his second of the year. And New York has a commanding lead over Toronto now, 9-0. Here's a pop-up into the shortstop area. It's Mears hardly moving from his position. A couple of steps in the outfield grass, he makes a catch. And that's the first out in the bottom half of the sixth inning. In that New York-Toronto game, single by Toronto second baseman Tomas Perez in the bottom of the sixth inning broke up a perfect game by Jimmy Key, pitching against his ex-mates. Twins lead here 3-0. Cordova drove in a run in the first inning. Molitor singled his 2,999th hit. Here's the pitch to Offerman. It's outside, 1 ball. Radke, boy, he's working on a dandy here tonight. He is not allowed to run, giving up only 2 hits. A second inning single to Bip Roberts, and he was disposed of as a base runner in a double play. And a leadoff single by Craig Paquette in the fifth inning, but he did not advance as the next 3 batters went out. Foul strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-0, the Twins are leading. And the pitch, high. 2-1 to count to Offerman, who's 0 for 2. A fly out to deep right center. And a ground out to the shortstop. 2 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Foul, and the count is even at 2-2. Molitor 2 for 3 tonight. Molitor now with the 2 hits has 211 hits this season. He's the major league leader in hits. You know, Just an amazing season that the 40-year-old Molitor has had for the Twins. Third in the batting race in the American League, behind Frank Thomas and Alex Rodriguez. Leader in the major leagues in hits. Over 100 runs batted in with 107. A pitch inside and a full count of 3-2 now to Offerman, and the pitch. Line drive and a base hit to the gap in right center field. Over quickly, Kelly to cut it off. Here's Offerman for 2. He's on his way to second, and he's in with a double. Two-bagger for Jose Offerman, his 33rd double of the year.
The center fielder, Roderick Myers.
Making reference a little bit earlier about Paul Molitor's press kit that Sean Harlan and his staff had put together. Radar, Brad Smith, and the rest of the media relations staff for the Minnesota Twins. And one of the packets that we have, it's about 20 sheets of every pitcher that Molitor has faced and gotten a hit off of. The first hit that Paul Molitor ever got was on April 7th, 1978, in his rookie year with the Milwaukee Brewers. Got it off of left-hander Mike Flanagan of Baltimore in the second inning, a single. Molitor's first major league home run came on his third hit of his career against Joe Kerrigan, who is now the pitching coach for the Montreal Expos. And he did that, of course, at Milwaukee when he was playing against Baltimore in the second game of his young major league career after spending just a year in the minors. Here's the set by Radke. The look to the runner at second, and the 1-1 delivery. And here's a drive down the right field line. Kelly chasing this one, and he is not going to get it. One bounce, and it's into the seats for a ground rule double. And it'll be a two-bagger for Rod Myers, and a run batted in, and it's a 3-1 game. Molitor signed with the Milwaukee Brewers, played at Burlington one season, and then the next year in 1978 he was up with the Milwaukee Brewers, the start of his 19-year baseball career. Well, the Dodgers are off and running against the Colorado Rockies, and Jamie Wright, the Rockies starter. An error by Dante Bichette allowed Ismael Valdez to score, and then a sacrifice fly by Wayne Kirby scored Todd Hollingsworth, and it is a 2-0 Dodger lead in the third inning. Boy, it's tough to win at Coors Field. Not too many teams have been able to do that. It'd be a big win for the Dodgers if they can take the Rockies tonight. Here's a drive, deep right field, way back. Lockhart's home run ties the game. Keith Lockhart on a 1-0 pitch. Well, with one out, a double by Offerman, a double by Myers, and a home run by Lockhart, and suddenly it's a 3-3 tie game. That's number 6 for Lockhart. Runs batted in numbers 52 and 53, and Dick Such will come out to visit Brad Radke. Radke had given up only 2 hits, singles, prior to the 6th inning here, and now he's given up 3 hits in a row, 5 total for the Royals. And there is the 36th home run given up by Brad Radke this season, 216th by the Twin staff.
Wow, things changing in a hurry this inning. Brad Radke almost unhittable for 5 innings. Just an opposite field hit by Bip Roberts in the second, infield hit. The only other hit off him, but now they've hit 3 balls hard this inning.
Here's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Knobloch. Bip Roberts is thrown out, and there's 2 away. They got him on the first pitch. Roberts retired, and now Craig Paquette will bat.
The first baseman, Craig Paquette.
Well, the home run by Lockhart ties the game. A 2-run blast. There wasn't any question about that one. He really had a solid blow to deep right field. Hit it into the Kansas City bullpen area. Here's Radke to Paquette, and the pitch is outside the ball, 1-0. 3-3 tie and 6 hits for the Twins, 5 for the Royals. The runs batted in here. The double by Myers played at Offerman. And for Myers, his third major league run batted in. And a 2-run homer by Keith Lockhart, his 52nd and 53rd runs batted in this year. Three in a tie game. And Paquette batting. He is 1 for 2. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. 1-2. Yankees now leading by a score of 10-0. And Cleveland gets a couple of runs. They trail Chicago now 3-2. They're in the bottom half of the 5th inning at Comiskey. Here's the 2-strike delivery. Line drive and a base hit to center field. The 4th hit of the inning for the Royals. They now have tied the Twins in hits. Second hit of the game for Craig Paquette, and now John Nunnally batting. So Kansas City gets the go-ahead run on at first. The double by Myers was his 3rd this year. And as mentioned, the home run by Lockhart, his 6th of the season. And the pitch. It's low, 1 ball to count to John Nunnally. Now the set, the right-hander Radke checks the runner and pitches. Swing and a miss, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Actually, Nunnally just got a piece of that one and fouled it. One ball, 1 strike. Nunnally last year, he had a very good rookie season for the Kansas City Royals. Early in the year, he was a strong candidate for American League Rookie of the Year. He was kind of battling Marty Cordova. Then Garrett Anderson of the California Angels kind of snuck into the picture. Nunnally tapered off in the last half of the year. He didn't make the club coming out of spring training this year and was sent down to AAA and was a recent call-up. Swinging a foul back and 1 ball and 2 strikes. But for a long while, he led all rookies in the American League in home runs until Cordova overtook him. Inside a ball. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Twins lead, and the Royals tied here at 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. A rally by the Royals in the bottom of the 6th. Double by Myers scoring Offerman after he had doubled. 2-run homer by Lockhart. And it's a 3-3 tie. Line drive and a base hit down the right field line. Kelly with a long run. He'll get to this one as the lead runner, Paquette, circles third. He's going to score to give the Royals the lead. Kelly has trouble coming up with the ball. And all the way to third is Nunnally. And it's 4-3 Kansas City. Well, Roberto Kelly had trouble coming up with the ball in the right field corner. I was watching third base coach Tim Foley for the Kansas City Royals to see if he was going to wave lead runner Paquette home, and he did. And as Kelly had trouble getting the ball, it got by him. Paquette comes in to score, and Kansas City leads, and now they have Nunnally at third, and they're still 2 away. Now Mike Sweeney will bat. So Kansas City has rallied for 4 runs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and they now lead 4-3. That's their 7th hit and their 5th of the 6th inning. Here's the 8th man to bat, Sweeney. That's a triple for Nunnally and a run batted in. And for John Nunnally, it is his first triple of the season. Paquette scores all the way from first base. Kansas City leads it by a run. Swing and a miss and an off-speed breaking pitch. And a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Mike Sweeney. Royals had a catcher, Sal Fasano, who was up with them for most of the summer and then was sent back down. It looks like Sweeney and Fasano are going to battle for the catching job next year. Ground ball deep third. Walker backhands it behind the bag, throws to first, but it's off the mark. It'll be an infield hit for Sweeney, and a run scores. Kansas City will bat around. They have 5 runs in, still 2 outs, and the batter is going to be Chris Steins, the left fielder. That's a run batted in for Sweeney, his 18th of the year. Well, that was nothing more than an infield single. Good play by Walker to make sure that the ball didn't get by him down the third base line. But he had no opportunity to get himself in position to make a throw to first. He made an underhand flip throw that was well off the bag. Coomer leaving the first base bag to play the ball. And Sweeney easily beats it out for the infield single. Five runs are in for Kansas City, and here's the 9th man to bat, Chris Steins, the left fielder. He made the third out of the 5th inning when he bounced out third to first, and he is 0 for 2. Now the set as Radke checks the runner. There goes Sweeney. The pitch is a ball. Throw to second. Out. Sweeney, and that's going to be all for the Royals. Caught stealing on a 2-4 scoring play is Mike Sweeney. Kansas City's retired, but they bat 8 men. They come up with 5 runs, 6 hits, nobody left, and at the end of 6, the Royals lead the Twins 5-3. Well, that was Goodwin who was thrown out stealing, not Sweeney. He was pinch running for Mike Sweeney. So we'll have a new catcher for the Kansas City Royals, and it's going to be Orlando Mercedes to catch for Kansas City now to start the 7th inning. Rosado is still in there, and it's a 5-3 Kansas City lead. Tommy Goodwin thrown out trying to steal on the final out of the bottom half of the 6th inning. So as we go to the top of the 7th, the Royals have 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Twins 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The rally by the Royals has put them in front by 2. We go to the 7th, and we're going to get a pinch hitter for the Twins to start things. It will be Jeff Rebele, right-handed hitting infielder. I'm sure Reb will stay in the game playing at third base. He's batting for Todd Walker. And Rebele will face Rosado to start things here at the top of the 7th. And once again, here's Herb.
All right, John, Todd Walker tonight called out on strikes, and he fouled out to the third baseman, Keith Lockhart. The new catcher for the Royals, number 36, Henry Mercedes. Rebele batting for Walker, and then we'll have Knobloch and Becker. Kansas City 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Twins 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. And first pitch is a high fastball, ball 1. Twins with 6 hits. They had 5 of those in the first 2 innings of 21-year-old left-hander Jose Rosado. There's a fastball inside. 2-0 to Jeff Rebele. Jeff batting .213, no homers, 22 RBIs. And he looks at a strike. 2-1. Rosado walked Roberto Kelly with 2 out in the 3rd inning, and he hit Mears with a pitch in the 4th inning. And the left-hander's pitch. A high fastball. It's drilled foul, way foul to the left. 2-2 now to Rebele. And right now we'll pause briefly here for station identification. And a fastball to Rebele. He bounces it to Offerman at second, throws it to Paquette. And a 4-3 put out to get pinch hitter Jeff Rebele here in the top of the 7th. And next will be Chuck Knobloch. Called out on strikes in the first. He got his 1,000th career hit in the 2nd inning, a double to right center. And then lined out to Nunley, who made a nice catch running in the 4th inning. So Chuck Knobloch reaching something of a milestone, as well as Paul Molitor, and oddly enough, both have extra base hits. Knobloch with a double for his 1,000th hit. Molitor a triple for number 3,000. And here's a high fly ball to right, not very deep. Nunley, the right fielder, in under it. He makes the catch. 2 away. Now Rich Becker called out on strikes in the first. Bounced out to Offerman, who made a good play going to his left in the second inning. And Rich struck out swinging in the fifth. So the Twins now having a tough time with Jose Rosado. Only one hit since the second inning, and that was Molitor's triple in the fifth. Dodgers get another run at Colorado on a single by Greg Gagne, and the Dodgers now lead 3-0 in the top of the fourth at Coors Field. Last of the ninth at Skydome, 10-0 the Yankees over the Blue Jays. And here's a breaking ball low and outside to Becker. Jimmy Key for New York. He's held the Blue Jays to 2 hits in the 8 innings they've batted. And a fastball to Becker misses inside, 2-0. 5-3, the Royals have the lead here in the first half of the seventh. The first of 3 with Kansas City and the first of this 10-game road trip. The fastball fouled away, and it's 2-1. And it's all over at Skydome. 10-0, the Yankees win it. David Weathers came on in the 9th inning, relieving Key, who wins his 12th. He's lost 10. Paul Quantrill loses his 5-14. Tim Raines 2 3-run homers. Ruben Rivera a solo for New York. And there's a drive to left, an opposite field hit for Rich Becker, played on the bounce by Chris Steins, and Becker with an opposite field hit to left, and Paul Molitor coming up.
The designated hitter, Paul Molitor.
Molitor lined a single to right his first time up, fly to right in the third, triple to right center in the fifth. Now we're going to get a pitching change here. Rosado's going to leave. He just gave up his 7th hit, but only the second one since the second inning. So the Twins trailing 5-3. Molitor the tying run at the plate here with 2 out of the 7th. The pitching change to break in the action. We'll pause for these words.
Well, the Twins, who were cruising along with a 3-0 lead after scoring 1 in the first, 2 in the second. The Royals put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning with 8 men batting. The final out was an attempted steal by Tom Goodwin. He's thrown out at second base. The Royals, by the way, are fired away leader in stolen bases. They have 177, which is 28 more than Cleveland, the second place team. Bob Scanlon, the former Milwaukee Brewer, Chicago Cub, who's been around for a while and has now landed with the Kansas City Royals. Coming on to pitch to Paul Molitor with the Twins batting in the top of the 7th inning, 2 outs and 1 on. The base hit by Becker. The 7th hit of the game for Minnesota. 5-3. Kansas City leading.
Paul Molitor, 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a triple. 3,000 hits. He is tied now with Roberto Clemente. Now the big right-hander Scanlon delivers. A slider swung on, hit to right, a base hit. Solid single to right again for Molitor, his 3rd hit tonight. And he is now in 20th place all by himself as the all-time hit leader, 3,001. Well, he's got a couple of singles and a triple. Becker going to second. Twins have the tying run on now. The batter Marty Cordova, who is single to knock in a run, been struck out by Rosado in the 3rd inning and fouled out to the first baseman Paquette in the 5th. Each team now with 8 hits, but the Twins down in the run column, 5-3. Bob Scanlon, who is 6'8", weighs about 220. And the pitch is swung on, a bouncing ball behind second, backhanded by Offerman, throws it to second. Nice play, and they get the force on Molitor. Good play by Offerman behind second base. So the Twins are down with no runs and 2 hits. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Kansas City 5, the Twins 3.
Well, right-hander Radke still out there as the Royals come to bat at the bottom of the 7th inning. If you're listening to our broadcast in your car radio tonight, please buckle up your seatbelt. Please make sure that your kids and your passengers have their seatbelts fastened too. They do kind of a cute number here. They do the limbo in the middle of the 7th inning, and they have a line on the video screen. And they were showing Chuck Merriweather, the third base umpire, and his back was to the video screen. He didn't see it. Of course, he was just kind of listening to the music and staring out into the night. And then the fans started booing him for not participating. It wasn't his fault. He didn't even see it. Then they showed Larry McCoy, the first base umpire. He saw it, but he didn't do the limbo. He chickened out, too. It's a good thing they didn't show us up here, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'd really be in trouble.
You throw us out of the game. Here's a base hit over third by Chris Steins. The ball rolling down the left field line. He turns first on his way to second. It'll be a stand-up double. Steins was at the plate when pinch runner Tommy Goodwin was thrown out for the third and last inning. The Steins has bounced to second and to third. So hit number 9. Les Norman, an outfielder, is going to run for Steins. So Steins leaves the game 1 for 3 with a double. His 4th double of the year. It's only his 74th at bat. Les Norman running for him. Here's David Howard, the shortstop, switch hitter batting left, and he bunts the ball foul off to the left of the plate over by the Twins dugout. Howard has bounced to second and popped to short. All of a sudden, Brad Radke running into trouble here after breezing through 5 innings. He allowed only 2 hits, threw only 51 pitches in the first 5 innings. But gave up 6 hits and 5 runs last inning. Now a runner on second, nobody out. Brad looks to second, delivers, and the ball is low and inside. A throw back to second base, but it bounces away from Knobloch. And there goes Norman to third base. It'll be an error on the throw by Walbeck. David Howard, a good bunter, and he had bunted the first pitch foul, took that one low and inside. Norman took a few steps towards third base. And Walbeck hung onto the ball to make sure he wasn't going to continue on to third. And then when he tried to duck back to second, Matt threw the ball low and it bounced past Knobloch. So an error by Matt Walbeck. That's the first error of the game. But only the Twins' 88th of the year. And the count to Howard now is 1-1. Twins will pull the infield in here with the runner at third and nobody out. And they're trailing 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Brad Radke works out of the set, delivers to Howard, and he takes it high. 2-1 the count. Jose Offerman on deck. Here comes Tom Kelly out. Ball 2 and strike 1. Walbeck going out there to join him at the mound. And Kelly takes the ball. He's going to go to the bullpen. So Brad Radke leaves after pitching 6 innings and the 1 batter here in the 7th. Gives up 9 hits, walks 1 and strikes out 2. And Mike Tremblay, I think, is going to get the call here for the Twins. So we'll pause now for these words.
Dave Stevens pitching for the Twins, replacing Brad Radke. I just was in conversation with Mike Levy, who's the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Royals. He said the switchboards are just going right off the wall here. The switchboards are loaded. Everybody's calling and wanting to buy tickets to the game tonight. Some fan downstairs went and bought 1,000 tickets for tonight's game. Of course, memorabilia to say that they have a ticket when Paul Molitor got his 3,000th hit. For those folks that are calling and can't get in, just a reminder that from tomorrow from 9 to 9, they can call this number, 1-800-6-ROYALS, 1-800-6-ROYALS, and they will be able to inquire about purchasing a ticket for tonight's game. Many people are calling from Minnesota and Wisconsin wanting to get tickets to the game.
Well, David Howard fouls off the first pitch. Count holds at 2-2. And Stevens' next pitch is hit high to right field. It'll get the run in. And the catch is made. Here comes Norman home. And the Royals lead it by a score of 6-3. Sacrifice fly by David Howard is 48th RBI. Well, that completes the log on Brad Radke. He is charged with the 6 runs. Only the second time in Radke's last 13 starts that he has failed to pitch at least 7 innings. Here's Jose Offerman, the Royals second baseman. He's bounced to short, flied to deep right, and doubled to right center. He got the rally going last inning with one out with that double. Looks at a strike from Stevens. Dave in his 43rd game. He's won 3, lost 3, had 11 saves. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Dave Stevens, 48 innings, has allowed 48 hits. Opponent's batting .262. He's walked 23, struck out 25. 0-2 to count to Offerman, batting left. And he takes low and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The leadoff double down the third baseline by Chris Steins. Les Norman ran for him, took third when Walbeck tried to get him at second, threw the ball into center field, and then the fly ball by Howard scoring Norman. Pitch is low here for a ball, and it's 2-2 to Offerman. 6-3, Kansas City leading after the Twins scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second on a homer by Mears. And Radke had him shut out on 2 hits for 5 innings. And a foul backing out of play. Still 2-2 to Offerman. Rod Myers on deck, and they say he prefers Roderick instead of the shortened Rod. There's a pitch by Dave Stevens. Swing, line drive, and into left. A base hit for Offerman. He's 2 for 4. An opposite field single. Hit number 10 for the Royals. And Myers, who is fly to right, walked. He had a ground rule double in the 6th inning that scored the Royals' first run. Runner on first and 1 away for Kansas City. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Royals with a 6-3 lead. Coomer will hold with Myers. Does not have a stolen base. Here is the set. There he goes. Pitch is swung on, popped up, back of third base. Rebele chasing it into the outfield, and he's there. Makes the catch near the foul line. Myers scoots back to first. Or the Offerman as Myers pops up to Rebele. Offerman still at first base, and Keith Lockhart, whose 2-run homer last inning, tied the score.
Everybody just ran into Linda Molitor upstairs. They've been going from a suite up here in the press box area to the club box downstairs. They were here for Paul's first hit. It's 2,999th. They were upstairs, and then Linda said, I just had to go downstairs to watch the next at-bats. And Paul's dad was not able to make it tonight. Wasn't feeling very well. Nothing serious, just a little upset stomach. And so he stayed back and was not here for the event. But he was in the Metrodome for the 3 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, I hope Paul's dad is feeling better. And
yeah.
I think that triple should help him a little bit.
I think so.
Here's the pitch to Lockhart. Oh, almost hit him on the foot. 2-0. I don't know if Paul's daughter Blair made any predictions for tonight. She's made a few predictions along the way of what he was going to do on certain nights. Now Dave Stevens having to tie his shoelace out there. 2-0 to Lockhart, who is 1 for 3 with that 2-run homer in the 6th. Paul Molitor now in 20th place. Just past Roberto Clemente. And the pitch by Stevens. High. And he gets behind Lockhart, 3-0. Bip Roberts on deck. And the pitch. There's a strike. 3-1. 6-3. Kansas City has the lead. Coomer holding at first base with Offerman, and Stevens throws over there. He gets back. I'll have to ask Tom Kelly how he feels about this. I wonder if I don't think any other managers ever had two of his players to reach 3,000 hits. Dave Winfield, of course, did it 3 years ago, and here's a foul backing out of play by Lockhart. 3-2 to the left-handed batting Keith Lockhart. His home run was his 6th. He has 53 runs batted in. Offerman, he'll be off and running here with a 3-2 pitch, 2 out, and the pitch is swung on and lined right to Knobloch for the out. 1 run for the Royals on 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. 7 innings, Kansas City 6, the Twins 3. A foul by Roberto Kelly, leans back from an inside fastball, 1-1. Roberto is flying to right, walked, hit to the pitcher. Les Norman, who went into pinch run, is in left field now for Kansas City. And the pitch. Swing and a little bloop hit behind first base, and it is off the mitt of Paquette. Kelly is on. They'll give him a base hit. Little bloop behind first, and Paquette, with his back to the infield, couldn't quite hang on to it. Six-3 now, the Twins trailing. That's their 9th hit of the game. And here's Ron Coomer, 0 for 3 tonight. Ron is flying to left, line to center, and grounded to third. Right-hander Bob Scanlon, who originally came up with the Chicago Cubs. Been with Milwaukee the last couple of years. Coomer steps out of the box. Scanlon, no win-loss record. It's his 14th appearance. Now the set and the pitch. Swing and a miss at a slider down and away. 1 strike to Coomer. Well, at Comiskey Park, the Indians have come back from a 3-0 deficit to go ahead of Chicago 4-3 in the top of the 6th. They just had a 2-run single by Kevin Seitzer to put him in the lead. And the pitch, a little bit low to Coomer for a ball. 1-1. Indians had scored earlier on bases loaded walk to Albert Bell, giving him his 141st run batted in of the year. And Julio Franco knocked in one with a single. 1 ball, 1 strike. Scanlon throws to first base. Kelly gets back. Now the set. Scanlon, the right-hander, looks to first. Delivers. Swing, line drive, caught by Offerman. No play at first. Well, that's something, isn't it? A moment ago, Kelly hit a little bloop that got a base hit, and this time Coomer scorches one. A line drive hit it right at the second baseman.
The catcher, Matt Walbeck.
Now Walbeck, Matt has singled to left, fly to center, and grounded to short. One gone here in the first half of the 8th inning. Kansas City with a 6-3 lead. Paquette holding with Roberto Kelly. 1 out. Scanlon delivers. Fastball low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bob Scanlon, native of Los Angeles. He attended UCLA. There's a bouncing ball hit to Lockhart. He throws it to Howard. 1 out at second. Back to first. Double play. 4-6-3. 162 for the Royals. 162nd double play. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Royals 6, the Twins 3.
Well, you can win a day with Marty Cordova, the 1995 Rookie of the Year. Will visit your child's school and then your workplace. Stop by any Twin Cities famous footwear location before September 25th to register. Call 33 Twins or 1-800-33-TWINS for details. Let's pause here for station identification. You're listening to Twins Baseball.
Bip Roberts with a solid line drive single to center field to start the bottom of the 8th. He singled in the 2nd inning. Grounded out the knob block in the 4th and 6th. So Roberts is aboard with the 11th Kansas City hit, and here's Paquette, the first baseman. Hit into a 4-3 double play in the 2nd. Had an infield hit to short in the 5th, single to center in the 6th. It's all over at Shea Stadium. Atlanta beats the Mets 5-2. A complete game 7-hitter for Danny Nagel. Danny Nagel now 15-8, beating Pete Harnish 8-11. Harnish was hit on the arm by a line drive, had to come out in the 6th, and I believe serious. There's a bunt between the mound and first, fielded by Stevens. He throws it to Coomer. Paquette is out. It'll be a sacrifice. 1-3 the put out, getting Roberts to second. Now here's John Nunnally, the right fielder. His fly to left, struck out, and had a triple down the right field line in the 6th inning. His first 3-bagger this year. Henry Mercedes, the catcher, due next. 6-3, Royals have the lead here in the 8th inning, and the set by Stevens. The pitch up high, ball 1. Brad Radke charged with the 6 runs. He pitched to 1 batter before leaving in the 7th. Had a 2-hit shutout going through 5 innings. And the pitch is low for a ball. 2-0 now to left-handed batting John Nunnally. Bip Roberts getting his lead at second. Stevens taking the sign here from Walbeck. And the set. A look back to second by Dave, and the pitch on the way. Swung on, hit high to left field. Fairly deep. Cordova over towards the corner a little bit, and Cordova makes the catch. Roberts is not going to try to advance. Not only gone on a fly to left, and it'll bring up Mercedes, the catcher, batting for the first time in the game.
The catcher, Henry Mercedes.
Mike Sweeney started behind the plate. He was 1 for 3 and an infield hit in the 6th inning. Mercedes only 3 at bats thus far with the Royals. He's 1 for 3. 2 down now with a runner at second. Here is the set by Dave Stevens. And the pitch up high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The Royals have a 6-3 lead. They came up with a 5-run 6th inning. Added 1 more in the 7th, and here's a high pop up down the right field line. Might be out of play. Being chased by Coomer, and it is in the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. It'll be Scott Aldred against Chris Haney. Left-handers on the mound tomorrow. Dave Stevens in relief of Brad Radke here, bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the set. He delivers on a foul off to the right out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Henry Mercedes, born in the Dominican Republic, now lives in Eagle Point, Oregon. Jamie Bluma warming up in the bullpen now for Kansas City. He's kind of inherited the closer role since Jeff Montgomery's had to have arm surgery. And here's a drive hit to center field, right at Rich Becker. He is there, right in his tracks almost, and makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 9th. The Royals 6, the Twins 3.
And now it's time for...
Here's a strike call to Matt Lawton, batting for Mears, who had hit a 2-run homer in the 2nd. His 8, hit by a pitch, grounded to short. Facing right-hander Jamie Bluma, B-L-U-M-A, and the pitch is low for the ball. 1-1 now to Matt Lawton. 6-3, the Royals leading here in the 9th. Matt hitting .263, 6 homers, 40 runs batted in. And the pitch. Swinging a ground ball off the glove. A bloom on the ball, goes into center field. A hit for Lawton. A pinch hit single for Matt Lawton to get a runner at first base here with nobody out. Rebele due up. Chip Hale's going to bat for him. Rebele batted for Walker in the 7th inning and grounded out. Walker was 0 for 2.
Well, before Chip Hale bats, let us remind you that the Twins are introducing the Marquette Bank's family section this year, located in section 233. No alcohol may be purchased or consumed in this section. The family section ticket package includes a reserve ticket, hot dog, and soft drink for just $8. For tickets for the final homestand with the Twins and the White Sox, which will begin at the 27th of September, call 33 Twins or 1-800-33-TWINS.
Chip Hale batting .288, hits a foul on the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike to count. As a pinch hitter only, Chip's hitting .310. He has 18 pinch hits, which of course is a club record. Here's the set by the right hand of Bluma, and the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Scanlon pitched an inning and a third. No runs and 2 hits. It's a save situation here for Bluma, who is 24 years old, 5'11", 195. And he throws a slider strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Montgomery, after arm surgery, is out for the year. Their closer for many seasons. And they think Bluma's going to be a pretty good one. Basically a hard sinker, slider type pitcher, and he delivers. There's his slider swung on, lined in the gap towards left center. It's going to be cut off by Norman. A single to left center by Hale. And the Twins have runners on first and second. Nobody out. They'll get the tying run to the plate now. Chuck Knobloch. Each team with 11 hits. And Knobloch tonight has been called out on strikes. He doubled to right center in the second. His 1,000th career hit. Lined out to Nunley and right in the 4th. Fly to right in the 7th. Nobody out here with runners on first and second. Bluma leaning in to take the sign from Mercedes. Lawton leading at second. Hale at first, and the first pitch way inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Knobloch up. Becker on deck, and then Molitor scheduled to follow. Now the set. And the pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bloom also is noted pretty well for having pretty good command of his pitches, although he's basically pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, that sinking fastball and the slider. It's his 14th appearance. He has 2 saves. He's the 6th Royals pitcher this year to get a save. 13 hits in 16 innings, 3 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Knobloch steps out. And the pitch. A sinker swung on, a broken bat back to Bluma. He throws it to Howard for 1, and Howard drops the ball after he takes it out of his glove. The out is recorded at second base, but Howard dropped the ball once he took it out of his glove. That's with a broken bat, that fastball boring in on Chuck Knobloch. So it's a 1-6 force out at second base. Lawton goes to third. Knobloch is on first. As Hale is forced out, the Twins have runners at first and third. And Becker, who has been called out on strikes, grounded to second, struck out, and flied to left, or single to left, which is 1 for 4. 6-3, Kansas City leading. Runners at the corners for the Twins. 1 out, and a foul back and out of play. The attendance tonight is 16,843 for 75 dates. Royals have drawn 1,362,000 plus. Tonight again, 1-6, 8-4-3. And a lot more folks trying to buy tickets for the game as a souvenir. And here's a strike call to Becker. 0-2. You folks listening would like to purchase tickets for tonight's game, you can call tomorrow from beginning at 9 in the morning until 9 p.m. The number is toll free 1-800-6-ROYALS. 1-800-6-ROYALS. If you're interested in buying a souvenir ticket for tonight's game. And the pitch is low here to Rich Becker for a ball. 1-2. Paul Molitor waiting on deck. Kansas City has a 6-3 lead here in the ninth. Lawton leading at third. Knobloch at first in the pitch. It is low. And a 2-2 count. Rich Becker batting at .290. Once more, that number, if you want a souvenir ticket, call tomorrow starting at 9 in the morning. 1-800-6-ROYALS. And the pitch. Swing on sound like a broken bat, but he lines the ball into right center for a base hit. Lawton is going to score. Knobloch to third. It's now 6-4. Kansas City, and the Twins have the tying run at first, and Paul Molitor coming up. Becker's 63rd run batted in on a single to right center, although it sounded like he broke the bat. And Paul Molitor, who lined a single to right in the first, he fly to right in the third, and then a long fly ball dropped out of the reach of the center field of Myers and the right field of Nunley. In the fifth inning, a triple and his 3,000th career hit. He singled to right in the seventh. So he's 3 for 4 and now batting .344 for the year. Playing in the bottom of the seventh at Comiskey Park, the Indians lead the White Sox 4-3. Barry Bonds has hit his 40th home run for the Giants. They lead San Diego 1-0 in the second inning at San Francisco. And the pitch by Bluma is bunted down the third baseline, foul. Ball trying to drop one down the third base line. Let it trickle foul.
Everybody in attendance tonight received a nice little placard. I was there, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Certifies that I was in attendance at the Minnesota Twins versus Kansas City Royals game when Paul Molitor of the Twins became the 21st Major League Baseball player to reach the milestone of 3,000 career hits. And an autograph of Paul Molitor and a place to put the ticket stub with the Royals logo and the Twins logo on it. Very nice.
And the pitch. Molitor hits the fly ball here to center field. And Myers will make the catch. Knobloch tags up. He'll come home. Holding at first base is Becker, and it is now 6-5 Kansas City. Credit Molitor with his 108th run batted in on a sacrifice fly to center. Knobloch scoring. Well, the Twins have one out left here with a tying run at first. Marty Cordova, the batter. A single to knock in a run, struck out, fouled to first, hit into a force out. Out at Coors Field, the Rockies get a run on a double by Ellis Burks, who was named the National League Player of the Week. 4-1, the Dodgers leading in the bottom of the sixth inning. The Rockies have won their last 8. John will have the scores for you and highlights of those games on the post-game report. And the pitch is outside of ball, and we'll also be chatting with Paul Molitor after the game tonight. 6-5, the Royals have the lead here in the ninth inning. Twins with 3 hits off Jamie Bluma here in the ninth inning, and there's a pitch, a half swing that cost Cordova. On the appeal, Larry McCoy ruled it a swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Craig Paquette holding at first base with Becker. Bluma leaning in to take the sign from Mercedes, and the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Two gone here in the top of the ninth inning. The Twins down by 1 run. Becker leading at first. The set by the right-hander Bluma. There goes Becker. And the pitch outside to throw down to second. Goes into center field. Becker will not advance, so he slid into second. And the center fielder Myers running in to back up the play. So Becker gets a stolen base, his 16th in 21 attempts. So now A base hit conceivably could tie the game with Becker on second and a 2-2 count to Cordova. Boy, Mercedes really uncorked that throw. Right out into center field, but Myers doing his job to back up the play very well. And Bluma leans in to take the sign. He sets. He delivers. And Cordova hits a foul in the first base seats. Count rides along at 2-2. Coming into this game, Bluma had not allowed an earned run over his last 11 2/3 innings. Giving up 2 here in the 9th inning. There's the number 46 and delivers, and a swing and a foul to stay alive. Cordova still with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Two and two the count. 2 down here in the 9th inning. 6-5, the Royals leading. Bluma says yes to the sign. Here's the set, the right-hander's pitch. Swing and a slider and a foul back. Still 2-2 to Cordova. Twins out hitting the Royals 12-11. Mears hit a 2-run homer for the Twins, and Lockhart hit a 2-run homer for the Royals in the 6th. That 2-run homer tied the score at 3, and they got 2 more runs and 1 more in the 7th. Now the set by Bluma. He delivers. A swing and a foul. That was a low slider that Cordova swung at. Just got a little of it and fouled it back. Still 2-2. Marty hitting .309. He got his 109th run batted in with a single to left in the first inning after Molitor single with 2 out. Went to second on a wild pitch. Molly scoring on the hit by Cordova. And Bluma delivers. Swing and a miss. He fanned him with a fastball. 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 left. The final score, Kansas City 6, the Twins 5.